Welcome friends, in this new video we discuss theorems of improper integrals. The improper integrals when the range of the integral is infinite. Necessary and sufficient condition for the convergence of integration of f where f is positive in closed interval a comma capital X is that there exists a positive integer positive number capital M independent of capital X such that integration of f between the limit a to capital X is less than capital M for every x greater than equal to a. Now friend, it is given that the function is a positive function. Here, since f is positive, f is positive in the interval a to capital X, then the integration a to capital X f into dx is positive and is positive increasing as n increasing as x increases, that is x tends to infinity. So it is a positive, that means this integration is an monotonic function, increasing function, and we know that when the monotonic increasing function is bounded above, it is a convergent, otherwise it is divergent, and therefore the integration a to capital X f into dx is monotonic increasing and is converges if it is bounded above. That means whenever we have, that is, there exists positive number capital M and it is independent of capital X such that integration a to capital X f into dx is less than capital M for all x greater than equal to a. If this condition is satisfied, then the function, the increasing function becomes bounded, and if it is bounded, it is a convergence. So this is a very simple theorem which says that if the function is positive and the range of this function is infinite, and that function is convergent if it is a bounded above. First, if f and g are two positive functions such that f of x less than equal to g of x for all x in closed interval a to capital X, then the first condition of the convergence is first integral, that is f integration a to infinity between the limit a to infinity converges if integration g between the limit a to infinity converges, and the second condition integration a to infinity g of the function g diverges if function f is diverges. So friend, what is given? It is given that both f and g are positive in closed interval a to x, and second, f of x is less than equal to g of x for all x belongs to the interval a to capital X. As f of x less than equal to g of x, we have integration a to capital X f dx less than equal to integration of g between the limit a to capital X. This we call it as equation number 1. Then the first condition, if integration a to infinity between the limit a to infinity of g converges, if g converges, then This gives us integration a to capital X g dx is bounded. Then from 1 you can see that from 1 this first integral f integration a to capital X is also bounded. Then therefore integration a to infinity f dx converges by definition. Again, let us apply the second condition. If integration of f is diverges, what happens if diverges means? Diverges means it is not bounded. If it is not bounded, then according to the first function, so first we consider integration of f between the limit a to x is divergent. If it is a divergent, then this is infinity, then integration a to capital X f into dx is not bounded. If it is bounded, it will be converge. If it is not bounded, then apply this. As the lower function is not bounded, the upper function is also not bounded, and therefore integration a to capital X g dx is also not bounded. It is a not bounded, and that means integration a to infinity g dx is divergent. So this gives that as first function f divergent, g is also diverges. F and g, two positive functions in the closed interval a to x, and limit of the functions f divided by g equal to L, where L is a non-zero number. Then the two integrals, integration of g and integration of f between the limit a to infinity, converge or diverge together. Also, if the ratio f divided by g tends to 0 and integration of g converges, then integration of f also converges. And second condition, if integration of if the ratio f divided by g tends to infinity and integration of f g diverges, integration of g is diverges, then integration of f is also diverges. Now here L is non-negative greater than 0. Since both are positive, therefore their limit also will be positive, and this means directly we can say that L is greater than 0. Now we choose epsilon such that epsilon is a number such that L minus epsilon is greater than 0. Also, what is given? Since limit of f divided by g x tends to infinity is equal to L. Therefore, by definition of the limit, as x tends to infinity, there exists a positive integer k such that mod of f divided by g, f of x divided by g of x minus L is less than epsilon for all x greater than equal to k. But applying the modulus property, this is L minus epsilon is less than f of x divided by g of x less than L plus epsilon, or the similar thing we can write it as L minus epsilon into g of x is less than f of x is less than L plus epsilon into g of x. Now consider the first part of this inequality, f of x less than L plus epsilon into g of x. As g of x converges, so if integration g between the limit a to infinity converges, then by comparison test first f is also converges. Integration of f between the limit a to b also converges. Now if we consider the second part of this inequality, L minus epsilon into g of x is less than f of x, and as g of x diverges, then f of x is also diverges by comparison test. So both converge or diverge together. Again, similarly, we can consider f of x, the first inequality, the second inequality. By this inequality, if f of x is converges, g of x is also converges. And according to this inequality, if f of x is diverges, g of x is also diverges. So both the integral converge or diverge together, where L is non-zero number. Now see the second part of this theorem. If their ratio tends to 0, that means if limit of f of x divided by g of x equal to 0, that is f of x divided by g of x, here x tends to infinity, minus 0 is less than epsilon for all x greater than equal to k, or f of x is less than epsilon into g of x. So apply the comparison test. As g of x is convergent, f of x is also convergent. Now second part, when limit of f of x divided by g of x tends to infinity, as x tends to infinity, that means f of x, there this is divergent, therefore there exists a positive integer capital K such that f of x divided by g of x is greater than this number, whatever may be the value, for all x greater than equal to k. We can take there is a capital for every, or this is for every capital M, there exists k such that this f of x divided by g of x is greater than capital M. If this is greater than capital M, then we have the inequality f of x divided by f of x is greater than m into g of x for all x greater than equal to k. Now if g of x is divergent, by comparison test f of x is also divergent. So this is the third part of this integration.